Hello everybody, welcome to Rewrite Your Reality with Reese. I am your host, and on today's video, talking about an email about a specific person and the life experiences of the person who emailed me, a subscriber I believe, and moving on to why and how you know you are reality and you create your own reality. The first principle of reality creation, the only principle of reality creation, you are reality. That's about it, right? Now, it did start off with third parties, that idea that you are physically seeing your physically focused specific person in a relationship with somebody else. Now, understand this initially. Every single moment, you are experiencing a brand new version of reality. That means the story of the relationship doesn't actually steadily create itself as if it's an objective experience of reality. See, we are very used to believing what we are seeing is one specific objective story. We watch movies, we read books, and it's almost as if everyone is under the disillusion that there is an objective reality where something is objectively and has to happen because it seems so naturally real. A romantic movie, you see two people that are together and you have this idea that, well, they are the ones that are going to be together no matter what's going on. But understand, it's only the writer's, the author's point of view that you are seeing. It's one idea from that specific author. That author's version of reality. It's not reality. It's not the only story. You are seeing that story that that person decided to be aware of, and now you're seeing it. You're seeing one fictional version of the non-fiction of all reality existing. Any change in any scene is a different reality completely. So when manifesting, a specific person and a third party appears involved. Yes, the third party is also you, coming from this idea that they said they sent them a person that is similar to them in their idea. But understand this, they are you not because your physically focused self is split into all of these other ideas. The entire image is you. See, if you were to take a photograph of this now moment right here, I don't just mean with you in the picture. I mean a four-dimensional image of the entirety of reality right now. As in, what you're knowing is snapshotting in every moment. The entirety of reality right now. That is you pushed out. That is the snapshot of every single thing that you are currently aware of happening in your reality. It has no meaning. It doesn't have a meaning. It doesn't have a story. It's nothing. The person, the third party, the tarot reader, which they brought up at some point, the circumstances, the thoughts about it, the meaning you give it, are all part of this image. They're all part of the reality expression. And this image does not actually create more images of itself. It's connected to every single image. The connection is you. You are the image, you are the next image, the previous image, and every other image that you can consider next or previous, because they all exist in the same place on top of each other. One, superimposed, where there's no top and bottom, there's no left or right, there's nothing, it's just here and now. So if you say, I loved him for many years, or my feelings stayed constant, notice that this can still be an idea of an identity where you are the person who loves him but is not in that relationship. That's what you are aware of. That's the image. The image where I say I loved him for many years. Yeah, you're being the image who just said I loved him for many, 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 many years. And you're creating that backwards. You're putting those images together. You are unpacking the superposition for your experiencing of it. But it's still superimposed onto everything else. The preferred version that you want, that you desire, is the one who is in that relationship. It's the one who is the reality where the relationship is already true, as in the relationship exists in the image. You are the image. It's not that it exists in reality. It exists in the image of what you are now considering your specific, specialized focusing of reality to be. So you didn't send him a more idealized version of yourself, or any version of yourself, idealized or not. You are reality. You do not send people anything. If you're a photographer and you took a picture of something and you're looking at that picture, you can't send anything to the image of the person. You may think, well, I'm using this image of a person to send the actual person something else. No, the person that you took a photo of, the person that you're looking at in a 3D physically focused reality, and the person that you're imagining are all separate. They're all different versions of the same idea of a person, but the idea of the person is always changing in reflection to who you are now being, because there's infinite versions of that person. They are all images. Just because you're holding an image doesn't mean the one that you are physically seeing is more real. Or imagining a version of them that's more real or less real than the physical one, and more real than the photographed one, because you can talk to the one that you're imagining. But they are all different. They're all reality. They are all consciousness in the form of that person. So you cannot send any of them anything, because you don't need to, and you can't do it anyway. Because you are reality experiencing another viewpoint. See, when you're physically seeing somebody, that's one viewpoint. When you're physically seeing a photo, that's one viewpoint. When you are imagining somebody, that's another viewpoint. When you do it again, that's another viewpoint, and another viewpoint, and another viewpoint, and another one, and another one, and another one. It continues on and on and on. You're only ever experiencing a new viewpoint. If you were to look at the photo again, that's a new viewpoint. If you look at it again, that's a new viewpoint. If you look at it again, that's a new viewpoint. You cannot look at an old viewpoint. You cannot do it. You can't. That is the one thing you can't do. You can't look at an old photograph of somebody. You can only see it from a new vantage point right now. You can't look at a future viewpoint. You can only see what exists right now. The man you choose is the one with you. The photograph, the image, the stillness, the reality script, the film roll, where you and that physically focused version of him, the physically focused version of reality unfolding itself as the story, that is who you choose to be. That reality, the one where it's true for the reality where it is true, truly happening. The almost him is just another version. Your literal consciousness is God. It's not this idea that they brought up, which is that one part of you is operating from the soul while another part is separate from it. So which one's you then? If one part's operating from the soul and the other one's operating from your physically focused viewpoint, realize that's you though. Not you think you're operating from there or there, the one that thinks. The version of you that is thinking, that's you. That's reality. That's just an image and an idea. That's just an image and an idea. You are the consciousness of reality itself. The text you type, the awareness, the knowing, the reaction, the opinion, the circumstances, all of it is God as reality experiencing itself. Even the opinion that circumstances matter in some way is still just an opinion you are free to believe in or drop. Because they brought up they have an opinion about what to do about physical circumstances and to ignore it or not ignore it. Whatever. It's up to you. It's completely an opinion that you have the free will to choose to believe in. You don't have to do anything with it. You don't have to do anything with it. I'm just saying make it irrelevant because it has no relevance at the heart of it. It literally has no relevance. So if you want your opinion on a subject to matter, that's just another version of reality where you are experiencing your opinion matter and don't matter. Because obviously if you have an opinion about something, you must create the circumstances where somebody disagrees with that opinion and you experience yourself standing in your opinion however you least resist, frankly. And the tarot reader who says he is not ready, he sees you as a friend, or he will want you later, It is nonsense. But not because you need to argue with anybody or the details or whatever just happened. It's nonsense because that whole reading is only ever reflecting an image inside of you. See, you can be a tarot reader yourself. You don't even need the cards. It only has relevance if you give it relevance. So what do I mean then? If you go up to any person and you look at them and then you imagine something that they are doing, that exists. You can tell them that. They'll believe it or not. It makes no difference to whether it exists or not, because you are reality experiencing existence. So when you tell somebody something, hey, the love of your life, you know them, they'll think of the person in awareness that they were currently being aware of being in love with or not. But if you tell them they were in love with the specific person, that exists. If they contemplate it further, they'll reveal to themselves the version of themselves who is in love with that person and that person being in love with them. Because you cannot think of something that doesn't exist. And the existence of the thing that was thunk is reality, because you're only ever contemplating reality. You can't contemplate anything else besides reality's own existence. The version of him who knows you already. There's no past, there's no future. So the version of him who knows you completely, absolutely, because you know you are consciousness, and as a consciousness you can be aware of a version of them who knows you completely, exists. Reality creation is finished. If something is finished, if you can imagine the idea of something, it must exist. So the version of them who knows you fully, he has this relationship with you completely and fully, must exist. What you are now desiring is the world and the unfolding and the experiencing of that world, where it is simply true, unfolding in your knowing, as your knowing. So you may physically experience getting to know each other, but that doesn't deny that the reality is already true. What? You know you're going to experience certain things, experience a tomorrow, a version. You know you're going to get older, you know you're going to transition from your physically focused self into metaphysically completely focused. The unfolding is part of that experience. All of it's happening now. You're just choosing what's now. The one who sees you as a friend, the one who doesn't know you, the one who chooses you, loves you, all of that, that's just you as reality choosing what to be aware of. Everything else can be literally made irrelevant, not fought, not analyzed, not turning into some sort of sign that it's true now. Just irrelevant. You're not choosing isolated details about him. You're choosing the reality creation where all of those details already exist perfectly. Because they have to exist, because you're aware of it. You're choosing the reality where you and him are already truly in a relationship, and that's the experience. So what's manifesting? It's a pure knowing that coming from the awareness of not having previously been aware of something unseen, and now you are aware of more of it and it seen. So a desire was something that came from the unseen to the seen. I mean, you couldn't desire something unless you were aware of it. You couldn't have... A desire is this feeling of wanting to experience something, knowing that you are already experiencing it and it's already done. So you actually need the desire to become aware of a version of yourself you want to be. If you looked at somebody and you felt nothing, it doesn't mean that nothing there. It just means that you wouldn't actually be aware of it. You wouldn't be able to feel anything that you're not aware of. It is knowing that as awareness, you are simply aware of the only thing that exists. I am. The name of God and God's beingness. So I am that I am. In the sense, manifesting is not the physical self trying to make something happen outside of itself. It is as if the person in the photo is trying to change what the photo is. They can't. Not even the photographer can change the photo, because if you edited the photo, it is another version of reality as that photo. We used the experience of editing to make believe that, oh, it changed from one to the other. But what changed was reality is the viewpoint of itself, where even the experiencing of what it looks like while it is changing to this other photo is another set reality as well. Now, the small self can't force people, events, thoughts, or circumstances into place, but it very much loves, from our unconsciousness, to create some sort of story as to why things are happening. It needs to have some sort of idea. When I say need, I mean that's just a story in and of itself. You can see. So the three-dimensional physically focused self, we like to give whatever's happening a story. We like to try to make sense of it. But it is actually, honestly, irrelevant. Any story you tell, it's irrelevant because it's only a photograph. It's only a snapshot of reality. It's always changing. No matter what you see, it will never matter, even if it continues to unfold in the idea of it staying there. It's another version entirely. And it doesn't mean try and fight it or focus on it or stay with it or the idea of actually, persisting through this thing, because it's not happening to you. Even if it feels like it's happening to you, like, oh, my bills are here. I'm fighting with my specific person, or I'm having a bad day at the job, or I'm in traffic and people are cutting me off left, right, center. That all of that, it's not happening to you. Those aren't circumstances you need to persist through to be where you want to be. They're just happening. There are things you prefer and things you don't prefer, and then that's about it. Then there's things you react to and things you don't react to, and that's about it. That there's nothing. Once it's gone, you don't even remember it. You just remember the idea of the existence of it. You don't even remember all the times you were mad, upset, angry, because they're no longer anywhere in reality. They're just superimposed as an idea, one with you right now, but they don't do anything. So no matter what you are experiencing, physical, non-physical, people, events, circumstances, thoughts, feelings, emotions, memories, desires, doubts, reactions, all of it's you as God experiencing itself in that way. There's nothing outside of awareness. There's only awareness being aware, and whatever awareness is aware of, it is experiencing as itself, because awareness is the substance of that which was once hoped for. When you're dreaming, what's the dream made out of? Yours truly. Not me, you. When I use the example of a full picture with the physical you included in the image, I'm referring to the entire image as you with a physically focused viewpoint, so you can experience the image from within. But everything in that image is another physically focused viewpoint. So you are experiencing the physically focused viewpoints of everyone else's from your chosen viewpoint, because they are also experiencing the infinite physically focused viewpoints that they are also. But you don't have to worry about that bit. It's like you watching your own TV, you're not interfering with other people's TVs. Even if you're watching the same channel. I'm referring, I said already, God painted that image and He painted your physical self into it. You are God painting it. You are God as the image painted. You are also everything within the image as that same God. God, basically. No matter what you are looking at, you are God looking at it as it. Just go there, because I can say that all the time. It's just more of the same thing. It's God. No matter what I'm doing, no matter what I'm thinking, no matter what I'm holding, no matter who I'm looking at, no matter how I'm looking at it, no matter what I'm looking at myself, no matter what I'm thinking of, it's God. You are God. There's no gap between you and God. Even the gap between you and the idea of God, you put there so you can realize and recognize the idea that you are God. Where the only reason the gap was there is you put the gap as God there, so you can create the experience of realizing who you are. If you think about you and God, right? This gap, you put that gap there so you can see the reflection. You can't see the reflection when you are only ever experiencing being one with it. But realize the reflection comes from you being one with the idea of a version of you reflecting and seeing yourself as God. You are still God, because God can't be broken down. That defeats the whole idea of God. If your God can be broken down into tiny little separate pieces, that's not God, you are. Each now is you. Each one of those blocks is you. So when you're changing reality, the block doesn't change. You change into a new block. And you are changing into a new block every single moment. That previous block that you think you were, it's part of the block you are in now as a new past. It's not the old block. We use the word old to refer to an idea we no longer are, but that the word old happens in the new block. So the word old is actually new. The version of the block you are referring to as if it was old is actually new in this block right now. Starting with the red one, it has a past. The present moment in the green one, the past, is not the red block. It's the red block reimagined from a new point of now, giving you the illusion that you came from another block into this one to keep the game going. The past is a new past entirely. It may resemble the idea of what you were thinking the red block was, but it's actually part and has always been part of the green block. Then when you go to the blue block, the next moment, that past you think is made up of that red and green past. It is actually not. It is the blue block's past, entirely new, representing what you think the green and the red was. You do that over and over and over and over and over again. When you imagine something, you jump to a new block entirely where the past and the future have nothing to do with any of that because you say so. So your now block must have nothing to do with any of that because you say so, because what you are experiencing now is your reality, the one that you have chosen. Your identity is the ever-changing blocks where your past is completely different and your future is completely different, but that doesn't matter because you're going down the line. Down the line as in changing your assumptive world. And the world that you are changing into and as is the one that you have now imagined yourself to be. So you have set the assumptions, and those assumptions are arranging around yourself, you. Not your physically focused self, you as reality. So you as reality are arranging because you have made a decision to be something. So it's arranging and recreating itself around you, your awareness, in your awareness, as your awareness. It basically, when you make a decision, your awareness, you as awareness, shifted to an idea. Because you as awareness, as reality, shifted into an idea, your reality is shifting as that idea now. Not in time. So it doesn't shift into a point where you suddenly see the circumstances as you like them to be. You are the circumstances, you are the conditions, you are the requirements, you are the reality, you are the assumption, you are the imaginational scene, you are the affirmation, you are the scripting, you are all of it. So all of that is reality. All of that is the rearrangement already. The three-dimensionally physically focused world is also arranging simultaneously with it. So those circumstances and things, they are currently not physically seen, but they are physically unfolding because you have already changed your mind. Because you have changed your divine mind's focus, it must be rearranging itself whether you can see it or not. That is actually what everyone is you pushed out. I do like saying everyone and everything is you pushed out because then everyone kind of just limits it to people, but everything and everyone seems a little more limitless to me because you are everything. Because you want circumstances that don't necessarily involve people. You want circumstances that involve things. Like, oh, I want this car. That car is you pushed out. And then you can understand that it's not a person you are being pushing out another person, unless you're having a baby. But you are infinity. So everything is you pushed out. So the version of you driving that car is you pushed out as an assumption, as an idea, is pushed out into your awareness. It doesn't mean that you're physically focused on creating other people from inside the world. It is the whole image as you, the room, the phone, the body, the person, the desire, the third party, the tarot reader, the friends, the silence, the message, the memory, the reaction, the thought about the reaction. That's just the fun one. All of it is one image of awareness. The entire thing is you pushed out. So it's not really that you created one person doing something or sent someone. You are always manifesting your own experience from wherever you are physically of an infinite variations of people, circumstances, events, and relationships. You are where you are physically right now, but where you are physically right now is always changing. And you're not stuck with one version of a person and trying to force that version to change, because you are already every single place that you could ever desire to be or not desire to be. There are infinite versions of them, infinite versions of you, infinite versions of the relationship, infinite versions of the story, infinite versions where none of the old previous details ever mattered at all. Because it's never mattered at all. You're just creating a version of it that matters to you now for whatever reason. This is why it is absolutely unnecessary to contemplate over whether you manifested two people being together, or whether you sent him another woman, or whether your energy created a situation, or whether something is moving behind the scenes. It doesn't matter. If you are consciousness and you are reality, and your 3D physically focused self is reality, that means when you move, everything moves simultaneously. So when you made a decision that I am this, your reality must be unfolding instantaneously along with I am this, because it's you. It's only ever agreeing with you. Your three-dimensionally physically focused experiences are only ever agreeing with you, even when it looks like it's disagreeing with you. It's not doing anything. It's only ever mimicking you simultaneously, because it is you. That is still thinking from the inside of the painting when you think anything else but I am. But I am that I am. It's one thing happening. From awareness, all paintings already exist, all realities already exist. You're not fixing the old painting, you are choosing which reality you are aware of being right now. So in reality creation, any change is complete change. This moment is not attached to the last moment. The moment is not being caused by the last moment. The moment is not dragging the previous story forward unless you are choosing to connect them. Even if you think you're remembering the previous moment, the memory is also appearing now. The current moment is new, the remembered past is new too. Both are new. The physical you in this moment is new. Every person in this moment is new. Every circumstance is new. The story is new. The meaning is new. Nothing is carrying itself forward with power unless you are identifying with it as true now. This is why circumstances do not matter. Not as a very cute phrase. I know we like to say, oh, circumstances don't matter. They actually don't. They don't do anything. I know when you're watching a movie, it seems as if the previous scene created the next one. Didn't. The author wrote it. And they edited it in a way for it to make time-space sense for us to watch it. Circumstances literally cannot create reality. They are part of the unfolding of the image. They are not source of the image. And that circumstance where you're saying this idea is finite in this image, the idea might be finite in that image, but the image can unfold into an infinite number of finite variations of that circumstance. That's why it doesn't matter. The circumstance doesn't even actually have to physically be there for it to rearrange itself into something else entirely. When you say, when I was younger, or they were together for years, or the other woman looked like me, or I sent him an idolized version. Why, by the way, why aren't you the idolized version of yourself? You are, not that she said that, I'm just, this came up. You are still creating and telling that story now. You are creating that idea of the past now. You are creating the meaning of that past now. You are creating the emotional relevance of that past now. That this does not mean the experience is fake in the sense of being meaningless. It is meaningless, but not as if that is fake and what's happening now is real. It's all reality. That means you don't have to make this mean less to make that mean more. I'm saying make all of it mean one thing. It means it's not an objective fact with power over awareness. It is a subjective experience being known now. And see, you are that circle. Imagine that circle is conscious. It's conscious of being these infinite frames and variations of what it thinks a past is and a future is and the now present moment is. That's you. And when you hone in, focus yourself, your physically focused self, on a version of reality, it fills up the entire awareness of yourself as your life. It's a new world. See, each one of those things is a whole new world. I forgot where that song is from. Aladdin. Yeah, exactly. You are that entire world. Every time you watch a movie, you're watching a movie where that's a new world. When you read a book, it's a new world. When you have a new thought, it's a new world. When you have something new in your awareness, that's a new world. When you dream, you're in a world completely make-believe, absolutely, but you feel it as if it were absolutely true. And your 3D physically focused self, even while you are sleeping, is still being manifested in accordance to what you are dreaming, what you are being aware of. That is why when you're having a nightmare, you wake up in a cold sweat. Because you are imagining your 3D physically self having a nightmare while experiencing the nightmare as if it were true reality. So when you are imagining your desired end as if it were, as per Neville Goddard, true reality, and that this is where you are now, whatever you're physically feeling is just an indication of your own awareness having created the experience automatically that you are now who you say you are. Whew! How do I know what I am? Because before any kind of question, you know that there's some sort of knowing happening, and you are that knowing that knows what it is knowing. You are aware of what you are knowing. You are aware of yourself being aware. You know you are aware of what you are knowing. You know you are aware when you're not thinking anything. But even not thinking anything is a thought about not thinking anything. So before the thought says, how do I know? You are. I am. Before the question appears, you are. You know that when the question appears, you must have already been something to even be aware of a question coming out. Before the method, the feeling, the image, the memory, the desire, the doubt, you are. Before the fear, you knew before the fear you weren't feeling fear, you must have been something still. I am. When you know yourself as awareness, you know that awareness is being the very substance of what it is aware of. When you are dreaming, you are being it. You're creating the idea of what you consider fearful. Even sometimes not actually. Even in the dream, sometimes things that you would never have found scary in your 3D physically focused self, you are terrified of. Why? Because that physically focused version that you are dreaming of and as is scared of those things. While you as consciousness are not. Because you are creating the idea of fear. You're creating the idea of a physically focused you who is scared of those things. The present moment is not a fixed container that awareness is trapped inside. The present moment is keeping up with awareness. Awareness is not moving from past to future. Awareness is one with whatever it is aware of as now. In fact, the now moment is awareness. So if you think about your consciousness, you think about this physically focused changing now moment that you are experiencing simultaneously, it is the same thing. It's one. You're just aware of it from your physically focused viewpoint looking out. But you are awareness. That means the entire field of your reality perspective changes together. The world, the past of that world, the future of that world, the people in that world, the version of you in that world, the meanings, the memories, the assumptions, the unfolding, all of it belongs to the reality you are now being aware of. You are not adjusting one little detail inside an otherwise fixed world. When you choose to be aware of a moment of reality, you call forth a literal entire world where that world is that. And a world means a complete reality experience, a complete version of self, a complete past, present, future unfolding, a complete arrangement of the people, events, and relationships, money, body, career, home, creativity, love, and life. That is what awareness does. It only creates. It only sees itself as what it has created, and it is only ever experiencing its own creation, not waiting for any permission from itself to give itself permission, because that's all you would be doing, to experience a whole new world. There's no delay because there's nothing that's creating for it. If you are the one doing something, why would there be a delay? It does not need circumstances to line up first. If you are the circumstances, why would you need circumstances to line up first? It doesn't need conditions. Same thing. Awareness instantaneously knows itself as what it has chosen to now know. That's the certainty. When you choose to know something, there's a certainty that you are not knowing it, that this is who you now choose to be, that this is who you assume yourself to be as reality, this new past, this new future, this new me that I am now. And when you consciously command your own awareness to be aware of a world, you're not trying to become it later. You are knowing it right now. You aren't knowing it later. You're knowing it now. You are aware of the world. You are in the world and you are the world. The world you desire already includes the physical you who lives there. The physical self has the relationship, the money, the body, the career, the home, the experience, the life, and the unfolding of that world. See, when you choose a world, you are choosing a snapshot, but you are also choosing the snapshots that make up the experiences of that world, which is the identity. The identity who experiences that. So now I know this is my world, the one that I choose to be living in and as. This must be the one that I'm living in and as because I'm assuming it, I'm imagining it. It's my consciousness unpacked of that which I already am. This is my reality. This is what I choose. This is what I experience. This is the world I am aware of being. My assumption is that in every single moment, my physical self is that world expressing itself in true form. In every moment, my assumptions, expectations, the certainty are the reality field I occupy. I am not waiting for it. You couldn't wait for it. You can't actually wait for it. I am not checking for it. You can't check for it. How would you check that you're in the world that you desire to be in, other than knowing it? I'm not asking the old image to confirm it. There is no old image to confirm anything. It's the same image of now. I am this world. I am in this world. I am experiencing this world. I am this world experiencing itself through the physical self. And that's who I choose to be. And I am your host, Reese. This is React Reality with you. Thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you for the email. It was a lengthy unpacking of a idea. Believe she shifted her own awareness and consciousness into knowing who she is and what she wants now, I believe. So thank you so much for that. Much love, much light. Thank you for liking. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for joining. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for joining the TikTok page. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for joining the Facebook page. Thank you for commenting. Much love, much light, and I will see you guys all in the next one. Bye.